So there's a lot of people feeling pressure from the cost of oil. And the cost of oil is going up here in the United States. The price of gas is going up. And a guy by the name of Tim Burchett, he's a congressman out of Tennessee, may have very well given the entire game or given the entire secret away whenever he was on with Joe Rogan. I want you to hear what Congressman Tim Burchett said, because there's a lot of people that are blaming the president, not only here in the United States for gas prices, but around the world. And I'll just let him tell you, because I believe what he says is going to blow your mind. And you're going to be angry at someone at the end of this clip. I don't think you're going to be angry at the president.
Big energy, oil, we get zero. I know it's a commodity and I'm going to get lit up that oil's a commodity and it, the world market, but we get zero oil from Iran. Zero. We export oil right now, and yet the price is going through the roof. It's going through the roof because they can. And I always say, well, how does that gasoline in the pumps go up? That's been they've already been processed, already been paid for.
Are you seeing what he's saying here now? How does the price, gas station, go up? We bring nothing in from Iran. You just heard it. He's going to explain to you, but I want to get your take, because I think at the end of this video, you're going to be upset.
How does it go up exponentially just overnight, 20 cents a gallon or whatever? And if that's because it's a commodity, and Burchett, you don't understand, how come that quart of oil that you at the hardware store doesn't go up like that? It's processed oil. Wouldn't it do the same? And of course, diesel. Your first cut, I think, is kerosene. And then it's diesel. And I've got a diesel dually. I filled it up yesterday. It's over $100. It is the cheapest. It is the roughest cut. That's why you have these incredible filters, because it's dirty. And gasoline is the third or fourth cut, and it ought to be the most expensive, but it's not. I just think it's a racket. And every time hold the hearings, and they'll come down there and the oil companies will, they'll shake that money tree. They know how to do it on both sides of the aisle.
You heard what Congressman Tim Burchett said. He can't understand why the gas in the ground at your gas station goes up 20 cents overnight, maybe during the day, when that gas has already been paid for. That gas has already been manufactured, refined, and shipped to the gas station for you to get. But suddenly it goes up. And then he talks about diesel. It's the least refined product from oil. It's the most expensive. The oil that you buy for your lawnmower, for your truck, for your motorcycle, those never go up on the shelf in O'Reilly's and, places like that. It doesn't make sense, does it? I don't think the president is doing this. He just let the cat out of the bag that it's big oil. Now, the one thing that I believe that a lot of people are upset about, there's outrage because of what's happening here in Iran. And you can see all of these little colored markers here, and these are strikes that have taken place over the last, 24 hours, because this is getting out of hand. You can see Oman, the UAE, Abu Dhabi, Dubai. All of these are major exporters, and they can't get their oil out of this corridor. And the reason they can't get it out is because the Iranian regime, the IRGC, there's a lot of people that are saying that the IRGC and the actual Ayatollahs are two separate factions right now, almost a coup that we're seeing. And this has turned into like a military state or an IRGC state, royal guard, this regime. And they are not the ones that are negotiating. They don't care about peace. They want combat. But the combat you can see here is really taking effect because of the numbers on the global impact. And there's a couple that really jump off the page at me right here. 21 miles wide, 20% of the world's oil goes through that corridor. 130 ships pass through there every day prior to this blockade. 50% average price of gas in the U.S. That's how much it's went up since the war began. But it doesn't make sense. If gas goes up 50% and we get none from Iran, big oil, Exxon, Chevron, BP, Shell, somebody's making some cash there. Somebody is really, what I would say, price gouging. I don't know if that's the real thing there. That's probably a term that I've just latched onto, but it damn sure seems like it. It seems like price gouging at a huge level. And one of the countries that can't get this oil is China. China's energy imports drop in April amid Iran war as fuel exports hit a decade low. The one thing that this is really doing to China, it's squeezing them out. They've already paid for a lot of this product to get there from Iran, and they can't. And whenever they can't get oil to, keep their country moving, China makes all their money on exports. They make cheap goods and services, and they send it to the United States. They send it to other countries. So what is this doing? Iran has awkwardly caused an absolute domino effect on the world stage. And it's not Iran anymore. I think we've kind of nailed it down or filed it down to it's the IRGC. The IRGC is the faction that's really causing this. And Iran made a major mistake. They thought threatening Hormuz would only squeeze America. They thought it would only squeeze the West. But that same waterway that feeds the United States feeds China's economy. And when China's oil flow starts getting threatened, Beijing doesn't care about slogans. They care about stability. That's what they want, stability. They want energy, and they want to control the world. And these are some highlights here of some airstrikes, all these in brown, by the United States Navy. They're keeping this blockade, watertight shut. And when China's oil flow can't make it through here, they're upset. And they will do anything they can to keep their country moving. Because the same waterway that feeds America is choking China out. Now, we can keep going, but it's these oil companies that are making it trouble, making it tough on Americans. Iran is not affecting us here in the United States. It's the oil companies that are absolutely causing the heartache for you and I, where we're having to make choices, or we're probably going to start making choices. And there seems to be the need for a little bit of regulation. And I don't know if we'll ever get that level of regulation, but like Congressman Burchett said, something happens 3,000 miles away to a country that doesn't supply one drop of oil to the United States, and the prices here go up. We're actually controlling the oil coming out of Venezuela, but for some reason, the prices continue to go up here, and it's just big oil. Iran says they seized a tanker in the Gulf of Oman as the U.S. disabled 2 more ships. You can see one of these ports here. This is basically Iran's Navy right now with this fleet of fast boats, these speed boats, bunch of bass trackers, bayliners. This is what their Navy has evolved to. And for some reason, the IRGC, this group of people that you see in this image, is controlling Iran. I think it's an embarrassment to Iran because they are so far out of touch. Could you imagine 35, 40 small boats in the United States waters controlling the United States Navy? I don't. And it's not going to happen there. It's not going to happen here. Now, we're going to take them out one by one as long as they keep playing these silly games. And I believe right now China is probably on board with that because they need that strait open. They need all of that to happen. And everybody's watching this pressure coming from Washington. But the pressure, I believe, the real pressure is coming from China because they have to keep their economy flowing. We got more news here. Israel killed 23 people in Lebanon. U.S. expects Iran's response to the deal proposal tonight. I don't know what version of the deal it is, but there's other things that are occurring that are really going to affect a lot of the decisions being made. I don't know about you, but I really believe there are 2 factions. There are the leaders in Iran, and then there's this military coup that is really causing the problems. Now, the other problem is that Iran can't get rid of the oil that they have. They can't get rid of it. They can't sell it. They have nowhere to go with it. So they've started dumping it. This is Karg Island. They've started dumping this oil into, or that's what this satellite image is saying, and a lot of people at NASA, they're dumping oil into the Persian Gulf. This is going back to like Saddam Hussein whenever he set the oil rigs on fire in Kuwait. And there's a lot of stuff there. The problem with Karg Island is where it's at. So here's the Strait of Hormuz here, and then the Karg Island is way back here. And I would say that's about 300 miles, maybe 400 miles from where Karg Island is, and we'll zoom in there so you can see this, to the actual passage of the strait. Now, this is not updated as well as that is, but you can see those containers, these oil storage facilities are at capacity, and whenever they go to capacity, there's nowhere else for it to happen because most of Iran's oil manufacturing is right in this area. This is where all of it is, I would say, pipelined through, similar to like the Keystone pipeline. You've got some very interesting other facilities here. We've got Shiraz, and that is one of their nuclear facilities where they've been spinning up uranium. You've got Al-Vaz, Isfahan. All of this is very, very treacherous real estate for the Iranians. But the real separation, the leadership in Tehran here has no control over the IRGC. I would say that's probably close to 800 miles away. And that is the real problem. This country is without internet for the last 74 days, 75 days. I believe we have cut off communications. Iran could very well have cut off their own communications, and that could be the problem. And I think we get a deal before President Trump goes to China. I think we get a deal with Iran. There's probably going to be some stipulations in there regarding this nuclear material. You can see here where they've got these missile facilities where they're enriching uranium. I believe there's no deal that's not going to happen where they don't give up that uranium. But I think Iran has bigger problems than just the United States. This is what I would call an absolute civil war or a coup that is happening right before their eyes. And do you think China could be funding part of this? Do you think, I don't know, North Korea? Do you think Russia? Do you think some of these other countries that have a lot to gain could be funding this divide, the same divide that we've started to see here in the United States? That's where I'm at right now. I think there are two real factions, and we could probably call it the North and the South. We really could. Go back to Civil War days. And the way that this is highlighted, the way I've got it highlighted, this is the real separation between decision-making and chaos. That's the way I'm seeing it right now. But the bottom line, Iran thought the Strait of Hormuz gave them leverage, but leverage only works when it's hurting your enemy more than it hurts your friends. And right now, China needs those shipping lanes open. That means Iran's pressure campaign may be turning into a trap of its own making. So watch Beijing, watch the tankers, watch the language coming out of Iran. Because if Iran starts softening its tone, it may not be because Washington blinked. It may be because China picked up the telephone. Drop your thoughts below. Is Iran really ready to make a deal, or is this just another stall tactic? If you got value from this breakdown, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Join the mission right up here. You can join the channel as a member. I'll keep tracking the map, the shipping lanes, and the pressure points that the media keeps missing. Because for some reason, the news media is scared to talk about China. But we're not here. I'll see you in the next one.